November 14th, and here's a look at today's top stories.
I'm sure you have all heard. It's the first time in 10 years AU's football team made it to the playoffs. Hear more about this when we come back.
This past Monday, pie and other desserts brought students and faculty together for the American Cancer Society. We'll have the details up next.
A big congratulations goes out to AU's Campus Activities Board. Stay tuned for more.
The Ashbrook Center has been given a $1.6 million grant by the U.S. Department of Education. Hear more when we come back. I'm Brittany Lee.
And I'm Rana Hamidi, and you're watching Ashland Tonight News for local coverage you care about. Stay tuned, it's all coming up next.
This Saturday will be a big day for the Ashland University football team as they head to Central Washington. For the university's first time in 10 years, the team will play their first Division II postseason game. The Eagles, with a record of 8.1, will play their first Division II postseason game at Central Washington in a Division II Northwest Region first-round game at 3 p.m. on Saturday. Central Washington's football team is recorded at having a record of 8.2. TV2 sport reporter Brendan will be here with us later for all the details, so make sure you stay tuned.
A 60s theme celebrated helped raise money for this summer's Relay for Life event. Ashland Tonight News reporter Michael Hartz has the story.
The College of Business and Economics held its Slice of Life event this past Monday to raise money for the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life. Carol Petrus explains that the event was held to honor one of AU's own.
We're doing this in honor of Professor Renee Rawaway, who is a professor in the Hotel and Restaurant Management program, and he's recently survived cancer.
The event featured a bake-off which attracted a wide range of guests.
We've had people here from the American Cancer Society. We've had other relay teams from the community. We've had people from all over Ashland University, different colleges and so forth. So it's been really fun.
Renee Rawaway judged the entries in 3 categories, including Best Taste, Best Presentation, and Best 60s Theme. Petrus explains that Monday's event allowed students to support a cause they normally would not be able to help with.
The big thing for us is that the relay event happens in June, and we know that the AU students aren't around at that time, so we're encouraging them to get involved when we have things throughout the school year so they can have some fun too and feel like they're really doing something for a great cause.
Some students got to do more than just eat the tasty treats on hand. They had the opportunity to pie a prof.
1, 2, 3.
All of the money raised Monday will go towards the Relay for Life event, which will take place on June 7th and June 8th at Ashland High School. Reporting for Ashland Tonight News, I'm Michael Hartz.
On October 27th, Ashland University's Campus Activity Board received the Excellence in Programming Award, given by the National Association for Campus Activities. This prestigious award was awarded to AU's CAB for its work during the 2006-2007 programming year. The NACA's Regional Conference for College Programming Boards was held in St. Charles, Illinois. The conference included a 6-state region with 170 participating colleges from Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Illinois. AU's Campus Activities Board was founded in 1977 and has been responsible for providing the campus community with entertainment throughout the school year.
The Ashbrook Center has been awarded this year a 3-year, $1.6 million grant by the U.S. Department of Education. The center will offer this grant to the Congressional Academy for American History and Civics. This program is organized to host about 100 outstanding high school students, juniors, 2 from each state, in Washington, D.C. next summer. The students will spend 12 days in Washington and will have day trips to Philadelphia and Gettysburg.
A campus office is hoping to brighten the holiday season for those currently serving in the military. The AU Admissions Office is getting ready to send care packages to the members of the armed forces serving overseas this Christmas season. The office is asking for your help. Any Ashland University student, faculty, or staff member with a friend or family member currently serving in the military is asked to send their name to the admissions office by Friday, November 16th. You can email the name of the service member to lroberts@ashland.edu. If you have any questions about the project, please contact the admissions office. Up next, for all you weekend travelers out there, we'll have the latest news on these outrageous gas prices, plus traffic details for Interstate 71. It's all up next on Ashland Tonight News. Stay tuned.
My name's Andy McDonald. I ride this useless wooden toy for a living. It's hard. I've been doing it for 13 years. I'm still lame. I do a trick called a 540. Took me a good 6 years to learn. There's a whole generation of skateboarders out there that are just as talented athletically as any basketball or football player. It takes somebody that's not going to be afraid to fall down a lot, because you definitely will fall down. You're not a failure until you refuse to get back up. Drugs are only going to hinder what I'm trying to do. That right there is my idea of getting high.
Hi, Mr. President. My parents believe that eating meals together will make our country strong. Is this something that you did when you were a kid?
I did eat with my family so long as my mother wasn't cooking.
Not good making fun of your mother, even if you are president, but it is good to have dinner with your kids. We know the more often children have dinner with their families, the less likely they are to smoke, drink, and use drugs. So simply having dinner together can help your children forever, even if you're not a great cook.
Kids, how do we take care of our teeth?
Brush your teeth twice a day. Floss your teeth once a day. If you want healthy teeth, do this every day. Brush your teeth.
Fight tooth decay.
Floss your teeth.
Don't forget regular dental checkups, okay?
Brush your teeth twice a day. Floss your teeth once a day.
You're a good driver, a careful driver, and you don't stand a chance. Not at a railroad crossing with bad sight lines and no lights or gates, where vegetation, buildings, or hills block your view, where you can't see the train and you only have seconds before it hits your safe, careful self and you die. Go to angelsontrack.org to report dangerous crossings, because careful is just no match for a 200-ton locomotive.
Welcome back. Aqua Paradise is the name of the indoor and outdoor water park, hotel, and conference center which is planned to be built in Medina. The entertainment complex is sponsored by Tim Sanford, an Akron area businessman who is willing to start the plan next year if it's approved. Sanford estimates that the park can bring around 1,500 jobs to the area, as well as more than $500,000 in tax revenue. It's most probably that the cost of the park could reach as much as $100 million.
Today's gas prices are estimated to rise a total of 20 cents or more over the next few weeks due to a recent surge in oil costs. Oil prices have risen $20 a barrel in the last 2 months, with a gas increase of approximately 30 cents a gallon during that time. On Monday, the average U.S. price for a gallon of regular gas was $3.10. This price is up 88 cents from 1 year ago. Oil consumers are not only dealing with the effects of the above-average gasoline prices, but according to the EIA, they can also expect to see record-high heating bills this winter.
Attention drivers, the Interstate 71 northbound and southbound is reduced to 2 lanes of traffic during the daytime hours between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. and to 1 lane during nighttime hours between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. This inconvenience is due to a bridge painting project which is expected to be completed by Saturday.
According to a recent census done on Ohio prisons, the state's prison population has exceeded 50,000 for the first time in state history. Reports state there are currently 50,016 inmates being detained, and in 1 year from now, that number is said to increase to 52,000. In the state of Ohio, there are 32 prisons, each of which were built to hold a maximum of 37,610 beds. The most crowded Ohio prison is the Lorain Correctional Institution, which is at 263% its capacity. Because of this, inmates have been forced to bunk in recreational rooms and dormitory common areas. As the number of inmates continues to increase, the number of guards has decreased. Last month, the state was reported to have only 7,195 correctional officers versus the 50,000 inmates. The state legislature is currently reviewing the different options to help solve the problem, one of which is to reopen the Lima Correctional Institute, which was closed in 2004 due to a budget cut by former Governor Bob Taft.
The Mansfield Salvation Army held the Red Kettle campaign kickoff Tuesday at the Mid-Ohio Conference Center. The event was marked by a breakfast during which the Army explained the goals and accomplishments of this year, as well as the annual report for 2007. The Army hopes to raise $100,000 during the Red Kettle campaign that begins on November 16th.
Well, AU students had the opportunity to buy handmade Nicaraguan crafts in the Student Center last week from the Center of Development in Central America. Sisters Pat and Kathy Flork talked about their efforts to close the wealth gap between North and South America. The duo has spent the past 14 years fighting poverty and defending the rights of workers in Nicaragua. The sisters were invited to Ashland University by the Ashland Center for Nonviolence. The duo plans to give several more presentations in Ohio throughout the next couple of weeks. Well, I know I enjoyed today's sunshine, so stay tuned to see your weather updates with Leland Gottlieb. Ashland Tonight News will be right back.
It's a sound we take for granted. Life seems so simple as a child, yet 500,000 children in Ohio have vision problems. Problems that, if not detected early, can lead to loss of sight and difficulty learning. Simple activities like riding a bike can become dangerous. When you register your vehicle or renew your license plates, add a $1 donation to the Save Our Sight Fund and help save the sight of Ohio's children. For more information, call 1-800-755-GROW.
Thanks for giving to Save Our Sight.
Sure, my neighbors Jean and Louise, they may be superheroes with superpowers, but that doesn't make them so super at saving energy and money. I mean, I like them and all, but when Jean uses that power vision to cook dinner,
Honey.
or when Louise or Starbright tries to save a little on the lighting bill.
Mom, a little light.
I may not be able to harness the power of the elements, but I save significant cash and help the environment with appliances, electronics, and windows featuring the Energy Star label. And I improved my home energy efficiency with insulation. My thermostat? Watch this. I'm just kidding. It's programmable. I don't have to lift a finger to save on AC and heating.
Mom, Dad's making fondue again.
So discover your own energy-saving superpowers. Go to ase.org/consumers.
No matter what type of home renovation you're planning, put this at the top of your to-do list. Make sure your family is up to date on the tetanus vaccine, because after 10 years, none of you are protected against tetanus and another potentially fatal disease, diphtheria. A minor injury, such as a cut or a scrape, can put you at risk for a tetanus infection. And while safety gear offers some protection, an up-to-date vaccination called the TD booster is your best insurance against tetanus. If it's been more than 10 years since your last booster, then it's not just your house that's out of date, it's you. If it's been 10, do it again. Talk to your healthcare provider to find out if it's time for a TD booster or visit nfid.org.
Welcome back to Ashland Tonight News. I am Leland Gottlieb with your weather. I hope all of you enjoy the mild readings outside for the last few days, because that's about to come to an abrupt end. We have a cold front sweeping through the nation, and it's knocking on our doorstep as we speak. With this cold front, we will see some rain and some winds behind it, and maybe even some snow showers. As we take a look at the current temperatures now, you can see exactly where this cold front is located on the map. Ahead of it, we have temperatures in the 60s. Here in Ashland, we saw a high of 62 degrees, but behind it, we have some Arctic air plunging down into the U.S. Temperatures are and 32 degrees right now in International Falls. Another story is the wind with this low pressure system and cold front. As we take a look at the current winds, you can see winds are exceeding 40 miles per hour in the plains, and this is all heading toward us. With these winds, we may see some pretty hefty wind chills tomorrow. As we take a look at the 3-day forecast, the main story is the dropping temperatures, but tomorrow we may even see some snow showers at this time. That's all I have for weather. Here's Brendan with sports. Brendan.
Thanks, Lee. I'm Brendan Bittner, and now let's get straight to all the action in Ashland sports. The football team finished its regular season on a roll with a 62-7 victory over Gannon on Saturday. They're 8-1 and have won their last 7 games. In dominating fashion, the Eagles scored 125 points in their last 2 games. Duane Harvey led Ashland's running attack with 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jamon Javy ran for 95 yards and 2 scores. John Schroeder also had 2 touchdowns. Quarterbacks Billy Cundiff and John Ferguson combined to go 19 for 23 with 322 yards and a touchdown. David Ziegelhofer and Brandon Gilmore each had over 100 yards receiving. But it was the defense that got off on the right foot when Kyle Calvert returned an interception for a touchdown on Gannon's first possession of the game. On Sunday, AU learned it was invited to the NCAA playoffs. As the 5th seed in the Northwest region, Ashland will travel to Central Washington University in the first round on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Congratulations to the football team for reaching the playoffs for the first time since 1997. The footballers were not the only team invited to the NCAA postseason. The volleyball team received its invitation despite losing to Hillsdale in the GLIAC tournament semifinals 3-1. Mary Kate Glow had 22 kills in the match and a .214 hitting percentage. Marina Santos had 19 kills, and Lindsay Warren had 42 assists and 19 digs. The Eagles accepted the 7th seed in the Great Lakes region and will play Lewis tomorrow at Allendale, Michigan. Last season, Ashland advanced to the National Elite 8. Congratulations also goes to the volleyball team for their season and continued success going forward. The women's basketball team opens its regular season in the GLVC GLIAC Classic in Indianapolis. They will play St. Joseph's on Friday and then take on Indy on Saturday. AU returns 3 starters from last year: guard Alethea Lamberson, guard Lisa Grau, and guard Lacey Romine. The Eagles will need to replace 40 points per game they lost from graduated players last season, Amber Rawl and Catherine Porterada. AU opens their home season on Tuesday, November 20th against Lake Erie College. The men's basketball team will open its regular season tomorrow when they host the Tiffin Dragons at 7:30 p.m. The men will look to shoot the 3 this season with seniors Brett Bartlett and Steve Gansey as they try to replace 6 players from last year's team. Joining Bartlett and Gansey in the starting lineup will be Brett Wackerly, Tyler Rosenberger, and Cale Richardson. AU looks to build on their 16-12 season from a year ago when they were 14-2 at home. The wrestling team will also open this weekend when they host the Harris Auto Center Open on Saturday at 10 a.m. The Eagles are ranked 12th in the country and return 5 starters from last season, including Mike Compton at 125, Marcus Gordon at 149, Eric Lakey at 165, and Josh Ohl at 285. Last season, AU finished 19th at Nationals. In high school football news, the Ashland Arrows advanced to the regional final for the 2nd straight season. They defeated Region 6 top seed Avon Lake 21-14 on Friday. This Friday, they take on 2nd seed Sylvania Southview, who defeated Piqua last week by an identical 21-14 score. The game will be played in Fremont at Ross Paul Stadium with a trip to the state semifinals on the line. Good luck to the Arrows this week against Southview. That's a wrap on all Ashland sports. Good luck to the football and volleyball teams in the playoffs this weekend. Stay tuned to Ashland 2 Night News. Up next is Candace Kaczynski with your entertainment news.
My father taught me a lot about life, without ever saying a word. When I was a little girl, my friends were all just like me. His never were.
Hello, hello. Didn't you bring them, George? I thought you were going to. No, I brought them last time. Huh? You're all right. I forgot. All right, so we'll be with...
I used to wonder, why would a Jew, a Christian, and a Muslim ever get together?
It was him!
And then I finally got it. They had a lot more in common than donuts.
friendship. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
With diabetes, you feel more vulnerable.
Every day is a new challenge.
Diabetes has made me improve my life. I take better care now.
I could actually die from the flu.
Being in control is the only way to survive.
A flu shot? Guess you could say it's like a life preserver when you have diabetes.
I'm going to ask my doctor for a flu shot today.
1 in 8 Americans goes hungry. One idea helped change that. A community started a garden that blossomed into farmers markets. 1 in 6 children lives in poverty. One group of women found an answer by opening a daycare center that their neighbors could afford. Today, 36 million Americans live in poverty. But one by one, people are helping themselves and each other to change the picture of poverty to one of hope. For easy ways you can help, visit povertyusa.org.
Welcome back to Ashland Tonight News. I'm Candace Kaczynski with all of your Hollywood happenings. It's a tragic day for Kanye West and family as they continue to mourn the loss of Kanye's mother, who passed away over the weekend. The rapper often talked about his close relationship with his mother, Dr. Donda West, who was an English professor for 31 years before retiring to become her son's manager. West received the unfortunate news while in London and immediately booked a flight back to the U.S. to be with family. Doctors suspect that Dr. West may have died from complications resulting from cosmetic surgery. Well, what would a Hollywood report be without an update on the former pop princess? Britney Spears is once again in hot water with the judge in her custody battle with former hubby Kevin Federline. But let's be honest, are we really that surprised? The latest reports on Ms. Spears say that one of her recent mandatory drug tests came back positive. However, the source connected to Spears states that although one of the tests came back positive, Spears still passed. Unfortunately, despite passing the test, Spears' reckless behavior only continues. She was recently taped making a left-handed turn at a red light in the middle of a dangerous LA intersection, while her 2 sons slept in the back seat. To make matters worse, a close shot inside of the car shows that Spears is actually holding her cell phone and apparently texting while running the light. Federline's lawyers are asking that Spears be banned from driving with the children in the car. A court date has been set for November 26th. From the pop princess to the king of pop, Michael Jackson is learning the hard way that even in Neverland, you have to pay the mortgage. After months of a rumored foreclosure on his Neverland ranch, officials have confirmed that the estate is in danger of repossession by the bank. After defaulting on payments 3 times, Jackson owes over $200,000 worth of interest on a $23 million loan. Sounds like it's time for Peter Pan, Jackson, to grow up and fly back to the real world. And on that note, let's take a look at the top 5 box office hits from the weekend. Starting at number 5, it's Dan in Real Life, starring Steve Carell, which brought in $5.9 million. Debuting at 4 with $6.7 million, it's Lions for Lambs with Tom Cruise, Meryl Streep, and Robert Redford. At number 3 is Fred Claus with $19.2 million. Holding down the number 2 spot is American Gangster with $24.3 million. And moving up from number 2 to number 1 is B-Movie, starring the voices of Jerry Seinfeld and Renee Zellweger, which brought in a whopping $26 million. That's all I have for entertainment news this week. Now here's Emily Tibbetts for your weekly health updates.
Thanks, Candace. After an intense but successful operation, the 2-year-old girl born with 8 limbs is doing well with 4. She has made her first public appearance Tuesday since the 27-hour surgery. The surgery was conducted by 30 surgeons working in 8-hour shifts. She has been making very steady progress over the last week, and it is said that she is out of the woods as far as serious medical issues are concerned. Without surgery, the little girl would have not been able to survive much past adolescence, according to doctors. Flu season relief may not be only in your medicine cabinet. Doctors are suggesting that the best place to start may be the kitchen. Maintaining a healthy immune system by having a balanced diet is important during flu season. There isn't one specific food that will save you from the flu, but a healthy balance is the key. Here are some suggestions to keep that flu away. Fill your plate with 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. Eat lean protein, drink tea, and to be sure to get enough of your friendly bacteria, such as yogurt. Also be sure to eat enough, but not too much. It is important that you have a proper energy balance to maintain your immune system. Exercise is also suggested in keeping your immune system happy.
So be sure to stay physically active as the weather gets cold and the temptation to stay inside becomes stronger. An organ donor infected 4 recipients with the HIV virus. This transmission of the disease through organ donation is the first of its kind for over 13 years. According to a donor group, the test on the donor came back negative, but it is thought that the donor did not acquire the disease until a few weeks before death. While the process can be improved, there are doubts that it could be completely fail-proof. Dr. Millis, Chief of Transplant Program at the University of Chicago Hospitals, ensures that organ donation is extraordinarily safe, but it will never be 100% with today's technology. That is all I have for health news this week. I'm Emily Tibbetts, only on Ashland Tonight News. Stay tuned for more AU news.
And now, another fact of Congress. Like a tree, our national government has 3 branches. First, there is the President of the United States, called the Executive Branch. The President is like your school principal. He makes important policy decisions on things like the environment and health care. He's also the Commander-in-Chief of the military. A second branch is Congress, called the Legislative Branch. The main job of the legislative branch is to debate and pass laws. They also oversee the activities of the president. Finally, there is the court system, or the judicial branch. Sometimes people disagree about what laws mean, so we ask judges to help us decide. The Supreme Court is the ultimate judge of the land. These 3 branches of government work together to form a complete system. And that's another fact of Congress.
Ashland Theological Seminary, transforming the world.
One pastor.
One counselor.
One city.
One campus.
One village. One family.
One teacher.
One crisis. One missionary.
One shelter.
One church. Transforming the world, one student at a time.
As parents, we do whatever is necessary to ensure the health of our children. Sadly, most parents don't realize that their child's first eye exam with an eye doctor should be between the age of 6 and 12 months. I urge you to take your baby to an optometrist for a comprehensive eye assessment. It can literally change your child's vision of the future.
Infancy optometrists offer a no-charge eye assessment for infants 12 months old or younger. Call today to find an optometrist near you.
Welcome back to Ashland Tonight News.
Just a reminder to AU students, Monday, closed clap slips are available at the registrar's office.
And don't forget, this Friday is the last day to turn in Thanksgiving housing applications. Please turn them in to Residence Life by 5 p.m.
Inflatables. Need we say anything else? This Friday, AU will be up all night. Obstacle courses, giant slides, and more. Eat some snacks and play a little basketball at 9 p.m. till 1 a.m. in the rec center. Are your friends visiting from off campus? Bring them to the rec center. They can get in free as long as they're with an AU student.
Amidst the International Week, this Friday from 9 to 5 p.m., the Student Center will be holding the 10,000 Villages Sale. Purchase beautiful handcrafted items made in third world countries to benefit their villages. And then later in the evening, you can watch a movie in the Student Auditorium featuring the Middle East at 8 p.m.
And finally tonight, in lieu of Thanksgiving being just around the corner, TV2 has a quick trivia question for you. Most people can name what this picture is. Do you all remember what it's called? That's right, it's a cornucopia. Do any of you know anything about cornucopias and their origin?
I have no idea.
You know, I really have to be honest. I read somewhere something that cornucopia is actually a goddess, and I want to say goddess of the harvest or something, but you guys all think I'm crazy.
Candace, you are actually very close. According to Merriam-Webster, a cornucopia is a curved goat's horn overflowing with fruit and ears of grain and is used as a decorative motif to symbolize abundance. The cornucopia dates back to the 5th century and can also be referred to as a horn of plenty or harvest cone. Bet you guys didn't know all of that.
Not quite.
I did. So what are the plans for the Thanksgiving Thanksgiving, any plans?
I think I'm going to go home and relax for a few days.
I'm very excited for the home-cooked food. Well, that about does it for tonight's Ashland Tonight News.
We would just like to thank our TV2 crew.
And if you're interested in helping out with Ashland's TV2 station, you can email tv2@ashland.edu.
Also, remember to send in your questions to TV2 to ask AU President Finks what he thinks.
That's right, and don't forget to join us next week. We'll be here in studio on Wednesday at 5.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.